This video is sponsored by JumpShotTrainer.com. Perfect your jumper using JumpShotTrainer.com, as their method is proven to increase your shooting accuracy by eliminating resistance from your offhand. You can learn more by visiting the links in the description box below. Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and the Minnesota Timberwolves are screwed. There's no nice, soft, or delicate way of putting it. No, the Minnesota Timberwolves are absolutely screwed, or so it seems at least. As we just got a report in from ESPN's Nick Friedel, the guy who basically just admitted to stalking Jimmy Butler over the past few years and monitoring his every move and discussion, saying that there is no way that Jimmy Butler stays with the Wolves come next summer. Being around that Timberwolves team a lot last year, I think Jimmy Butler is probably going to be gone a year from right now somewhere else, and there is a problem. I think Tom has got to have that honest conversation, whether it comes now or in a few months, and say, do you really want to be here? And if Jimmy is kind of like, we'll see, then I would make a move. Knowing Tom for the past few years while I've been covering him though, I don't think he would do that. I think the Wolves are stuck with what they got right now, and the problem is they're going to be stuck with Towns and Wiggins if Jimmy leaves, and that team is not good enough. And this report was just one of many that has already come out this summer saying similar things, that there's no way that Jimmy Butler is about to be with the Minnesota Timberwolves after this season. However, Tom Thibodeau was recently, actually just yesterday, asked about all of this and how he feels about the team's possibility of keeping Jimmy Butler, especially since he denied that contract extension, and this is what he had to say. We wanted him to know how important he is to the future of the organization. The winning will take care of all of that. We know the position we are in. We have a lot to offer him, and we think this is the best place for him, and it's up to us to show him the reasons why. So Tibbs is hoping that the Wolves can have a good enough season to convince Jimmy Butler to stay, and that is why I say the Wolves are just freaking doomed. Look, there's no doubt that they will be in the playoffs this upcoming year. They're a playoff team as long as Jimmy Butler stays healthy and Tom Thibodeau doesn't finish off his knee by the time the NBA playoffs get here. But that being said, even if the Wolves do make the playoffs, I think most of us would be beyond surprised if they even got out of the first round, and I do not think that a first round exit is nearly good enough to convince Jimmy Butler to stay with them long term. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again, the Wolves bring on Tom Thibodeau as coach and GM was the biggest mistake that they ever possibly could have made. They went from being a team with a bright future to being basically doomed again in the matter of a couple of years. Speaking of teams with bright futures though, a team with one of the brightest futures in the NBA for sure has to be the Phoenix Suns. I'm sure there's a joke in there to be made somewhere about the Suns and their bright future, but I'm not even going to attempt to make one because it would turn out to be a train wreck. Anyways, the Phoenix Suns are of course loaded with young talent. They added so much this summer and they already had a couple of nice pieces. So now it's just about developing that talent and teaching them how to win games. So the future for Phoenix is bright, but as for the present, you know, it's kind of dim. It's not dark like it used to be, but the present surely isn't that bright, as I don't think a lot of people are expecting them to have some Cinderella year where they become one of the best teams of the NBA after being the worst team in the NBA. Unless of course you are Devin Booker, as he says that the time for Phoenix is right now. It's time for them to start winning right now. It's winning time with the contract. Even before the contract, I felt the pressure to succeed for the city and the franchise. They took a chance on me to be that max guy. I know it comes with a lot of leadership and responsibility, but I think I'm built for it. I'm looking forward to the next year a lot. With the additions to the team, we're in much better shape to have a much better season. We're in the best shape we've been in since I've been part of the franchise. He's not wrong. It is an exciting time to be a Suns fan right now, and they are in the best shape that they've been in for quite some time, like since the days of Nash, Marion, and Stoudemire. Now they got Booker, Ayton, Bridges, Jackson. I'm not saying playoffs or anything, but you know, it'll at least be worth it to be a Phoenix Suns fan this year. And I'd say if the Phoenix Suns win 33, 34, 35 games this upcoming year, that has to be considered a successful season. Next up in the news though, there has to be at least one surprise team in the NBA every year, right? It's a rule and it has to be abided by. So maybe that team could be the Phoenix Suns. Maybe they surprise us all by being actually a really good team this upcoming season, kind of like the Indiana Pacers did this past season. And even though the Pacers surprised us this past season, they could still surprise us again again this season. Most people expect them to be like the 3rd or the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, right behind the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. But like I said, they could surprise us once again by being even better than that. But in order for that to happen, a lot of the responsibility will fall upon Myles Turner's shoulders to get a lot better than he has been last year. All the hype that's been surrounding them this summer is going to have to be true, and according to the trainer of Myles Turner, who was also the trainer of Victor Oladipo, the hype is true, as he says Myles Turner now looks like an exceptional NBA player, even going as far as to compare him to the likes of Karl Anthony Towns. Myles Turner was exceptional. I think his upside is huge. We've also worked with Karl Anthony Towns since he was an 8th grader, and I see similarities in the two. I'm personally pretty excited about him. I think he hasn't even scratched the surface, and he showed it in his workout. It's time for you to have a breakout year, Myles Turner. If it doesn't happen now, it's most likely not going to happen, and especially after all the hype that has been surrounding you this offseason. If you do not break out and become a star for the Indiana Pacers, that will be a massive disappointment, and the Indiana Pacers won't be surprising anyone. They'll still be good, but you know, a lot of it's going to come down to guys like Myles Turner getting better, just like Victor Oladipo got better. Next up though, how many of you guys wish you could just fall into a free few $1,000s? This sounds like the beginning of some terrible scammy infomercial or one of those spam comments on the internet, but I am serious here. How many of you guys wish that you could just fall into a free few $1,000s? Let's say around $3,500 to be exact. I know I do. I really wish I could. And some lucky Knicks fan just did, as he legit just sold his fandom on eBay for $3,450. Lifelong Knicks fan Devin Booker put his NBA allegiance up for sale last week on eBay under an auction titled "Infuriated New York Knicks Fan Has Had Enough Selling My Fanhood." And then you search under the completed auctions in eBay and it is right there. It says it sold for $3,500, and the seller indeed went by the name Evan Pearl, aka Devin Booker. And news outlets picked up on this stories like that. It began spreading like wildfire over the past 12-ish hours. Even got in contact with Mr. Evan and asked him why he sold his fandom, and this is what he had to say. The hate was strong, and people are passionate about their fan base, understandably. Being a Knicks fan is living in the twilight zone. It has reached a breaking point time and time again. Like quicksand, the harder I root, the worse it gets. Also saying that he's now extremely excited about being a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. "I'm off to one of the most decorated franchises in all of sports, sunny winters, the destination free agents would actually want to go to, Hollywood, and it's time to strive for greatness." And look guys, this story actually got so big that the New York Knicks themselves had to put out a press release regarding this guy. We're sure our millions of loyal Knicks fans won't mind losing this attention-grabbing gentleman. We remain focused for the upcoming season with a hard-working team that is proud to represent New York and its dedicated fans. I mean, I'm sure this entire thing started off as some type of joke for this Knicks fan. He wasn't expecting anyone to actually buy his fandom. He probably wasn't even expecting anyone to see this eBay ad, but it did. And someone wound up paying him $3,500 to become a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers. So you know what? I can't even be mad at that. You got a free $3,500. Anyways, the last thing that we have to talk about today is Markelle Fultz, as we have another update coming out on him and the progress that he has made this offseason. And according to the Philadelphia 76ers, it's been extremely good progress, or at least according to a reporter for the Philadelphia 76ers. As this reporter said that the Sixers said that they expect Markelle Fultz to start for them full time by the time the NBA season comes around. I'm hearing the Sixers are encouraged by the recent clips and maybe even how the shot held up during live action. It's not perfect and there may be some ups and downs, but it's steady progress. The plan is for big minutes and a starting role from the jump. So is JJ Redick coming off the bench, or is Markelle Fultz going to be like the starting point guard, where they use Fultz, Redick, Simmons, Saric, and then Embiid. I think that's the more likely of the situation. Either way, the Sixers now feeling confident enough in Markelle Fultz to let him be a starter has to be a great sign, right? Anyways, that is going to do it for today's video, guys. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, then go ahead. What are you waiting for? Smack that sub button and the like button so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching, guys. You already know that you are the real MVPs, and until next time, I'm out of here. Peace!